Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. WATP, let's get to the news. There's a storm brewing over Scottish football, and once again, the eye of the hurricane sits right over Ibrox. The Scottish Football Association, the SFA, has dropped the hammer on Rangers after the club's outspoken criticism of recent refereeing decisions. It's a move that's sparked outrage, disbelief, and a fair bit of laughter, depending on which side of Glasgow you're standing on. Reports suggest the punishment includes a hefty fine, possibly even a suspended points deduction, though the details remain murky. Fans are fuming, pundits are divided, and inside the club, sources whisper of fury boiling just below the surface. They say the Rangers board feels targeted, that this isn't about discipline but about power, about reminding everyone who calls the shots in Scottish football. The air's thick with suspicion, the kind of tension that only comes when history, pride, and politics collide. On fan forums, conspiracy theories are spreading faster than wildfire, each one more outrageous than the last. Some say the SFA is making an example of Rangers to keep the rest quiet. Others think it's payback for the club's relentless pressure over officiating standards. Either way, this isn't over. In fact, it feels like it's just getting started. Inside the corridors of Ibrox, the atmosphere is electric, almost defiant. Players have been told to keep their heads down, but that hasn't stopped the murmurs from leaking out. There's talk of an official response being prepared, one that could shake the foundations of Scottish football politics. Apparently, Rangers have compiled a dossier of controversial refereeing moments from across the season, pointing out inconsistencies and missed calls that, they claim, reveal a pattern of bias. It's not the first time such allegations have surfaced, but this time the tone is different, angrier, more calculated, almost surgical. Journalists close to the club describe executives pacing boardrooms late into the night, phones buzzing, statements being drafted and torn apart again. The message, according to insiders, will be bold, unapologetic, and impossible to ignore. The feeling among fans is that this is more than football. It's about fairness, respect, and the fight for the club's dignity. Across the city, Celtic supporters mock the uproar, calling it classic Rangers paranoia. But even they admit something unusual is brewing. Whatever happens next, the whole country will be watching. And if Rangers do hit back, it won't be subtle. Scottish football thrives on chaos, and right now, chaos has found its stage. The SFA's punishment might seem procedural on paper, but emotionally, it's poured petrol on an already raging fire. Every radio show, every podcast, every pint shared in a Glasgow pub tonight circles back to one thing. What will Rangers do now? The speculation is endless. Some believe they'll take the high road, issue a calm statement, and move on. Others, those who know the club's pride and its deep-seated sense of injustice, expect fireworks. There's a long memory at Ibrox, one that holds grudges like precious relics. When the SFA steps on that pride, it's never forgotten. And then there's the wider question: how fair are referees in Scottish football? It's a question that's lingered for decades, whispered after derby defeats, screamed after controversial penalties, and muttered under the breath of every supporter who feels wronged. The problem isn't just the calls, it's the trust. Once fans stop believing the game is fair, every whistle becomes suspect. And that's where we are now, not in a football argument, but in a battle for credibility itself. Even neutrals are feeling uneasy. This isn't just about one club being punished. It's about the broader relationship between institutions and the people they govern. The SFA, for all its authority, isn't exactly beloved by fans. There's a growing sense that it operates above accountability, insulated from the voices it supposedly represents. Rangers' latest punishment fits that narrative perfectly, a heavy-handed decision that feels less like justice and more like control. On social media, fans point out how other clubs have criticized refereeing decisions without facing the same heat. Is it hypocrisy? Selective enforcement? Or maybe just bad timing? Either way, the optics are terrible. It's like punishing one kid for shouting while the rest of the class whispers behind the teacher's back. The sense of persecution fuels the club's siege mentality, something Rangers have worn like armor since their return to the top flight. And if the SFA thought this would silence dissent, they've miscalculated badly. Because in Glasgow, punishment doesn't quiet rebellion, it amplifies it. Every sanction becomes a rallying cry. Every fine becomes proof of bias. Every decision, fair or not, becomes another chapter in the eternal story of us versus them. The tension has spilled beyond football now. Politicians are weighing in, pundits are trading insults on air, and former players are being dragged into the conversation whether they like it or not. The media frenzy has turned into a circus, and the more people talk, the murkier the truth becomes. One camp says Rangers are reckless, that no club should undermine the authority of officials. The other argues that calling out incompetence isn't rebellion, it's accountability. Somewhere in the middle lies a question that no one seems ready to answer. Who watches the referees? For years, Scottish football has danced around the issue of transparency, promising reforms and delivering little. If Rangers really do release evidence or a detailed critique, it could force the SFA into uncomfortable territory. Imagine the headlines: Rangers expose bias, SFA cover-up claims, Scottish game in crisis. It's dramatic, yes, but entirely plausible. And the thing is, football thrives on drama. Fans might rage and pundits might pontificate, but in the end, controversy is the lifeblood of the game. The only question is, who controls the narrative now, the SFA or the club they've just provoked? Whispers suggest that inside Ibrox, patience is wearing thin. The club feels cornered, like a fighter forced to defend itself in a rigged match. The idea of an explosive response isn't just bravado, it's strategy. The board knows that silence would look like surrender. So instead, they're planning to go on the offensive, to expose inconsistencies in officiating with cold, hard evidence. If that happens, Scottish football could face its biggest reckoning in years. Imagine referees' decisions being dissected frame by frame, the SFA's processes laid bare for everyone to see. It would be messy, it would be ugly, but it would also be fascinating. And deep down, fans crave that transparency, even if it comes with chaos. For Rangers, this is about reclaiming control of the story, turning from the punished into the challenger. You can almost hear the YouTubers revving up their mics, ready to dissect every word, every rumor, every hint of rebellion. Because if there's one thing Scottish football never lacks, it's theater. And right now, the curtain is rising on its latest act, a clash between power and pride, between silence and defiance. By morning, the noise has only grown louder. Headlines scream, Rangers war with SFA, talk shows buzz with half-truths and speculation, and the footballing world watches Scotland like it's a stage play. Inside Ibrox, sources say the club's communications team is finalizing the wording of their official response. Every sentence is being weighed, every phrase tested for impact. They know that one misstep could cost them even more in fines, or worse, reputation. Yet, there's a sense of righteousness in the air, a belief that speaking out is not just necessary but overdue. The Rangers fanbase, massive and fiercely loyal, stands ready to back the club no matter the consequences. They see the punishment as proof of institutional bias, the latest chapter in a long-running saga of double standards. Meanwhile, the SFA maintains its silence, refusing to comment beyond a brief statement about maintaining respect for officials. That silence, though, speaks volumes. It feels like the calm before the storm, the pause before the explosion. You can sense it. Something big is coming. Something that could redraw the lines between club power and governing authority in Scottish football forever. If the rumors are true, Rangers aren't just drafting a statement. They're preparing a dossier, a comprehensive report filled with video evidence, referee statistics, and comparisons that could embarrass the SFA. It's said to include examples from key matches across the last 2 seasons, highlighting errors, inconsistencies, and what the club views as patterns of bias. Whether that bias is intentional or systemic remains to be seen, but the idea alone is explosive. Imagine a public document that questions the integrity of referees with data to back it up. That's the kind of thing that doesn't just make headlines. It shakes confidence in the entire sport. Sources close to the SFA are already bracing for impact, reportedly consulting legal teams and communications advisors. They know that if Rangers go public, the fallout will be brutal. It could lead to calls for reform, demands for professionalization, even resignations. But from a fan's perspective, this is what football drama looks like: chaotic, passionate, and deeply human. It's about pride, loyalty, and the desperate search for fairness in a game that rarely offers it equally. Social media is ablaze, a digital battlefield where facts and emotions collide. Rangers supporters flood timelines with clips of dubious refereeing calls, each tagged with fiery captions demanding justice. Celtic fans fire back with sarcasm and memes, mocking what they see as yet another Ibrox meltdown. Meanwhile, neutrals shake their heads, half amused, half concerned about what this means for the league's reputation. Scottish football, always intense, now feels combustible. The YouTube channels, the podcasts, the fan pages, they're all feeding the fire, dissecting every rumor with forensic obsession. It's entertainment, but it's also identity. Because in Scotland, football isn't just sport, it's heritage, history, and heartbreak all rolled into 90 minutes. The SFA, for all its authority, has underestimated how much emotional weight this punishment would carry. Instead of quiet compliance, they've provoked rebellion. And the worst part? They can't control the narrative anymore. Once the fans take over, once the content creators spin the story, truth becomes secondary. What matters is perception. And right now, perception says the SFA's lost the dressing room. That's a problem no rulebook can fix, no fine can erase. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Behind closed doors, old wounds are reopening. Rangers leadership still remembers past disputes with the football authorities, times when they felt unfairly treated or sidelined. This latest clash feels like history repeating itself. But there's a difference now. The club's media presence is stronger, its influence far greater. Modern football isn't fought only on the pitch, it's battled in the court of public opinion. And there, Rangers are masters. Their fan base is an army, digital and vocal, capable of turning outrage into movement. Some say that's dangerous, others say it's democracy. Either way, the SFA is outnumbered. The question is whether they'll double down or seek compromise. Insiders whisper that even within the governing body, not everyone agrees on how this was handled. Some see the punishment as excessive, others as necessary to maintain authority. But authority without legitimacy is fragile. If fans lose faith in the system, every red card, every penalty, every offside call becomes a spark for conspiracy. That's the deeper danger here. It's not just about Rangers. It's about trust in Scottish football itself, something no governing body can afford to lose. The word crisis might sound dramatic, but that's exactly what this feels like. Scottish football's credibility is hanging by a thread, and both sides seem unwilling to back down. Rangers believe they're defending their honor. The SFA insists it's defending order. It's a standoff, and in such battles, there are no real winners, only fallout. Sponsors, broadcasters, and league partners are quietly watching, worried about how this spectacle might affect the sport's image. Even players are uneasy, caught between loyalty to the club and respect for the officials. The next match at Ibrox could be tense, every whistle met with jeers, every decision scrutinized under the weight of controversy. It's the kind of tension that can consume a season, overshadowing performances and poisoning rivalries even further. And yet, amidst the chaos, there's a strange sense of anticipation. Because Scottish football, for all its flaws, has always been theater. Messy, passionate, unpredictable theater. The crowd loves it, the cameras thrive on it, and deep down, maybe that's why this never truly ends. Controversy is part of the DNA. It's not just about football, it's about belonging, defiance, and identity. Now, as the days tick by and statements loom, one truth becomes clear: silence is no longer an option. Rangers are ready to speak, and when they do, it will be loud. The club's supporters expect nothing less than defiance, and the hierarchy knows it. The phrase, explosive response, has become the talk of the town, and everyone's waiting for the detonation. Will it be a data-driven expose? A fiery declaration of independence from perceived bias? Or perhaps something even more calculated? A PR masterpiece that turns punishment into power? Whatever form it takes, the shockwaves will be felt far beyond Glasgow. This is about reputation, about who holds the moral high ground in a sport that often blurs the lines between justice and politics. The SFA might hold the rulebook, but Rangers hold the crowd, and in football, that often matters more. So, as night falls over the Scottish game, the question isn't whether the explosion will happen, it's when. And when it does, the fallout could change the balance of power in Scottish football for good. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.